The sleek, modern studio of CNN this morning in New York thrummed with the controlled chaos of live broadcast prep on a drizzly Tuesday in late August 2025. The massive curved desk bathed in cool blue LED lights that mirrored the Hudson's gray churn outside the Time Warner Center windows. Anderson Cooper, silver-haired and sharp as a scalpel in his signature navy suit, adjusted his earpiece with practiced ease, his piercing blue eyes scanning the teleprompter as co-anchor Caitlin Collins flashed a quick smile from her perch, the air scented with fresh coffee and the faint ozone of high-tech monitors. Today's lineup promised fireworks. A segment on global media bias segued into high-profile guests, including Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, fresh off the Netflix premiere of her lifestyle series, With Love, Meghan, Season 2, which had critics buzzing about its blend of culinary charm and candid royal reflections. At 44, Meghan arrived poised as ever, gliding through the green room in a tailored cream-sheath dress that hugged her frame with effortless elegance, her caramel locks in loose waves, a delicate gold necklace, Harry's wedding gift, catching the light as she exchanged polite air kisses with producers, her smile warm but her eyes vigilant, schooled by years of scripted scrutiny. The audience, a curated mix of media insiders and fans clutching branded mugs, applauded as she settled into the guest hot seat, the cameras zooming in on her composed grace, Collins kicking off with effusive praise. Meghan, Season 2 is a triumph, those chats with Tan France and Jose Andres. Pure gold. How does it feel to reclaim your narrative on your terms? Meghan leaned forward, voice melodic with that signature blend of empathy and resolve, recounting the joys of curating conversations that lift rather than litigate, her anecdotes about Harry's aversion to lobster drawing easy laughs, the studio's energy light and engaging as clips from the show rolled on the overhead screens. But Anderson, ever the anchor of unflinching inquiry, waited for his window, his fingers steepled as he nodded along, the faint scar on his cheek, a relic from Khmer Rouge reporting, twitching subtly with anticipation. As the segment deepened, he pivoted seamlessly from Netflix fluff to thornier terrain. Meghan, your show's all about authenticity, yet back in the UK, authenticity meant walking away from duty. With Harry's latest Invictus push pulling him homeward, is there regret in that American exile? Or is Montecito the real endgame? The question hung like a velvet-gloved challenge, the audience leaning in, a murmur rippling through the rows as Meghan's fingers tightened imperceptibly on her water glass, her response measured, regret. No, Anderson, it's evolution. We've built a life of purpose here, away from the institution's echo chamber. The exchange crackled with subtext, Collins interjecting a neutral buffer about Archwell's latest grants, but Anderson pressed, his tone velvet over steel, purpose, yes, but critics say it's selective. You decry media intrusion, yet curate your spotlight. That Oprah tell-all, spare, wasn't that intrusion on your terms? Meghan's chin lifted, eyes locking onto his with the poise of a woman who'd stared down tabloid tempests. Selective. It's survival. The press hounded us, racism, isolation. My narrative isn't a weapon, it's a shield. The studio hushed, the first threads of tension weaving through the broadcast's fabric, cameras capturing every micro-expression. Anderson's arched brow, Meghan's steady gaze, the unspoken history of his Vanderbilt lineage clashing with her self-made saga. Producers in the booth exchanged glances, ratings spiking as the interview edged from promo to probe, the morning civility fraying at the edges like a well-worn script pushed to its breaking point. This wasn't just morning TV, it was a high-wire act between journalists' duty and Duchess's dignity, poised to tip into the spectacle that would dominate feeds by. As the segment clock ticked into its second act, the studio's atmosphere thickened like storm clouds over Central Park, Anderson Cooper leaning forward with that predatory poise honed from decades of frontline dispatches, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial timbre that belied the blade beneath. Caitlin Collins hovered on the periphery, her notes rustling softly as she attempted a bridge. Meghan, let's talk empowerment, your jam jars from American Riviera Orchard went viral. House, as ever, bridging that lifestyle gap. Meghan, ever the strategist, seized the lifeline, her smile softening as she described the relaunch's ethos of intentional living, anecdotes about strawberry harvests in Montecito drawing nods from the audience, a few phones subtly raised to capture the glow-up glow. But Anderson, undeterred, circled back like a hawk, sliding a tablet across the desk with a thumbnail of a recent X-thread dissecting, with love, Meghan, as soft propaganda, intentional, sure, but this episode on UK nostalgia. You miss the scones, the stiff upper lip. Yet Harry's eyeing UK returns for security appeals. Is the bridge burning both ways, or just selective memory? The probe landed pointed, the crowd's murmurs swelling into a low buzz, Meghan's posture straightening, her emerald eyes flashing with that rare fusion of hurt and heat, selective. Anderson, you of all people know trauma's not a script. We left because staying meant silence, my silence on suicidal thoughts, our kids' safety. Nostalgia's human, exile's necessity. The retort resonated, applause flickering from sympathetic corners, but Cooper, unflinching, parried with a raised hand, his accent crisp as autumn leaves. Trauma, yes, I've reported from war zones. But your version, it's monetized memoir. Spare sold millions trashing family, now Netflix therapy sessions. Is this healing, or just high-end grudge holding? The accusation ignited, the studio's AC straining against the palpable warmth. Collins S. Whoa, let's unpack that, swallowed by the fray as Meghan's voice sharpened, laced with the steel of courtroom victories. Grudge. Try journalism's hypocrisy, you chase clicks on our pain, then call it scrutiny. I built Archwell from ashes, you build segments from schadenfreude. Gasps echoed, the audience fracturing into divided loyalties, media wonks nodding at Anderson's tenacity, fans clutching purses in Meghan's defense. Alone, hear her. Cutting through from the back row. Anderson's eyes narrowed, a vein pulsing at his temple, retort swift, schadenfreude. Darling, truth isn't tea parties. You sued the Mail for privacy, yet parade pain on global TV. Which is it, victim or virtuoso? The volley accelerated, words whipping like debate daggers. Meghan countering with stats on biased coverage against WOC royals, Cooper firing back with palace access, anecdotes from his Rolodex, the desk a battleground of balled fists and braced elbows. Backstage, segment runners scrolled frantic feeds, hashtag Meghan vs Anderson bubbling with preemptive fire, producers hissing into headsets for a soft cut, but the director's greedy thumbs up held the feed, ratings soaring like a rocket. Meghan leaned in, voice a velvet whip, truth. Yours is tinted by privilege, Vanderbilt silver spoons don't scrape like Sussex survival. It was the gut punch, Anderson's facade cracking with a sharp inhale, his comeback a low growl, survival. More like spotlight stealing, sit tight, we're not glossing over the gloss. The command, paternal and patronizing, was the match. Meghan's hand rose, signaling halt, her composure a thin veil over the storm within, the audience's phones now a constellation of glowing recorders. In that electric interlude, old fault lines, reporters' rigor versus royals' resilience, crackled to life, the interview metastasizing from discourse to duel, every barb a breadcrumb to the blowout barreling down the pike.